The autumn rain taps against my office window at 1 Market Street, San Francisco. Each drop feels like a reminder of how my perfect life is about to shatter. My hands tremble as I scroll through my Instagram feed, filled with pictures of my seemingly perfect life. 1 million followers. A successful lifestyle brand. A loving husband who's just become the youngest CTO in Silicon Valley. If only they knew. My heart races as another message from Andrew lights up my phone. Meet me at the Four Seasons. Now. I shouldn't go. God knows I shouldn't. But like every time before, my fingers move faster than my conscience. On my way. The elevator ride down 60 floors gives me too much time to think. Too much time to remember how this all started. 3 months ago, at the TechCrunch conference in Moscone Center. Michael was giving his keynote speech about the future of autonomous vehicles. I was sitting in the front row, proud wife smile perfectly in place. And there was Andrew, watching me instead of the stage. The memory makes my chest tight. I step out into the rain, my Louboutins clicking against the wet pavement. San Francisco's financial district towers above me, glass and steel giants judging my every move. My Uber pulls up, black Tesla Model X, ironically one of Michael's company's cars. The driver doesn't recognize me, thank God. I've built my brand on authenticity and trust. Living your best life with Clara Thompson-Chen, that's what my YouTube channel promises. The irony makes me sick. The Four Seasons is only 10 minutes away, but each second feels like an eternity. My Apple Watch betrays my racing heart, 110, 115, 120. Andrew is waiting in the lobby, looking every bit the successful venture capitalist he is. Armani suit. Rolex watch. That smile that makes me forget everything I should remember. Clara, he says my name like a prayer. My body responds before my brain can object. We need to talk, he leads me to the hotel bar. The bartender knows him by name. Of course he does. We sit in our usual corner, away from prying eyes and phones. Silicon Valley may be built on technology, but secrets are still best kept in shadows. Michael's launching the new autopilot system next week. Andrew's voice is low, urgent. I feel the familiar guilt rising in my throat. I know. He's been working on it for months. It's not ready. My heart stops. What do you mean? There are problems with the code. Critical problems. The wine glass trembles in my hand. How do you know? Andrew leans closer, his cologne making my head spin. I have sources inside the company. Clara, this could kill people. The words hang between us like poison. Tell Michael, I whisper. Andrew's laugh is bitter. He won't listen to me. Not anymore. Not since. He doesn't finish the sentence. He doesn't need to. We both remember that night at the Stanford Alumni Gala. The way Michael caught Andrew looking at M.E. The tension that's been building ever since. Clara, Andrew's hand covers mine. You have to help me stop this. My skin burns where he touches me. How? Get me access to his home office. I need to see the code myself. The request hits me like a physical blow. You want me to help you break into my husband's computer? I want you to help me save lives. Outside, the rain has turned into a storm. Lightning flashes across the bay, illuminating Andrew's face. For a moment, I see something in his eyes that scares me. But then it's gone, replaced by concern. Think about it, he stands, leaving me alone with my thoughts and a half-empty wine glass. The ride home is a blur. Our house in Palo Alto feels too big, too empty. Michael is still at the office, probably will be all night. He's been sleeping there more often than not lately. I walk past the photos on our walls. Our wedding at the Palace of Fine Arts. Vacation in Napa Valley. The day Michael's company went public. All perfect moments, perfectly captured. All feeling like lies now. My phone buzzes. Another message from Andrew. People could die, Clara. You know what you need to do. I sink onto our Italian leather couch, my head in my hands. The house's smart lighting system dims automatically, sensing my distress. Even our home is programmed to respond to emotions. But what about my emotions? What about the way my heart races when Andrew's near? What about the guilt that keeps me awake at night? What about the growing distance between Michael and me? Lightning flashes again, closer now. In that brief illumination, I make my decision. My fingers type the response before I can change my mind. Tomorrow. He'll be at the office all day. I'll let you in. The moment I hit send, thunder crashes overhead. Nature itself seems to be warning me. But it's too late. The choice is made. The path is set. And somewhere in the storm, a butterfly flaps its wings. Chaos theory in action. One small decision leading to an avalanche of consequences. If I had known then what would happen next? But I didn't. None of us did. The next morning dawns clear and cold. Silicon Valley's famous fog hugs the Santa Cruz Mountains. Michael leaves early, his Tesla pulling out of our driveway silently. He doesn't kiss me.
Goodbye.
Anymore. I watch him go from our bedroom window, wondering when we stopped being us. Andrew arrives at exactly 10 a.m. His Porsche looks out of place in our quiet neighborhood. Are you sure about this? He asks as I let him in. No, I want to scream. Instead, I nod. Michael's home office is on the second floor. Everything is sleek, minimal, expensive. Just like our life. I enter the password on his computer. Our anniversary date. At least he hasn't changed that. Andrew works quickly, his fingers flying over the keyboard. I stand by the window, watching for any signs of Michael's return. My Apple Watch counts my heartbeats. Like a countdown timer. 130. 135. 140. Found it, Andrew's voice breaks the silence. I turn to look at him. His face is illuminated by the screen's blue light. Something in his expression makes my blood run cold. What is it? He doesn't answer immediately. Instead, he pulls out a USB drive. Copies files. Deletes traces of our presence. Andrew? It's worse than I thought, he finally says. He stands, moves closer to me. Too close. The autopilot system isn't just flawed, Clara. It's designed to fail. The words don't make sense. What? Your husband, Andrew's voice is soft, dangerous. He's planning to crash his own system. My legs give out. I sink into Michael's office chair. That's impossible. Think about it. The stock is at an all-time high. No. He's been selling shares quietly for weeks. No. When a system fails, the company's value will plummet. Stop. He'll make billions from the short sales. The room spins around me. My perfect life. My perfect husband. All built on lies. Just like my relationship with Andrew. What are we going to do? My voice sounds strange to my own ears. Andrew kneels in front of me. Takes my hands in his. We're going to stop him. His kiss tastes like promises. Like betrayal. Like destiny. I don't push him away. And in that moment, I seal all our fates. The next week passes in a blur of secrets and lies. Michael works later than ever. The launch event draws closer. Andrew and I meet in hidden corners of the city. Planning. Plotting. Falling deeper into whatever this is between us. Until the morning everything changes. I wake to the sound of sirens. Blue and red lights flash through our bedroom windows. My phone is exploding with notifications. Breaking news: Silicon Valley CEO in critical condition after Tesla crash. The world stops spinning. My hands shake as I read the details. Michael's car. Autonomous mode. System failure. Exactly what Andrew warned about. But something doesn't feel right. The timing. The circumstances. The way Andrew isn't answering my calls. I rush to the hospital, playing my part as the devoted wife. The waiting room at Stanford Medical Center feels like purgatory. Hours pass. Reporters gather outside. Social media explodes with theories. And still, Andrew doesn't answer. When they finally let me see Michael, he's unconscious. Tubes and wires make him look small. Vulnerable. Not like the powerful CEO everyone knows. I sit beside his bed, holding his hand. Wondering if he can hear me. Wondering if he knows. About Andrew. About me. About everything. The monitors beep steadily. Outside, the fog rolls in from the bay. Hiding secrets. Burying truths. And somewhere in the gathering darkness, my phone finally lights up. A message from Andrew. 2 words that change everything. I'm sorry. The guilt hits me like a physical wave. Each beep of Michael's heart monitor is an accusation. I stare at Andrew's message until the words blur. I'm sorry. Sorry for what? The betrayal? The lies? Or something darker? My hands shake as I dial his number. Straight to voicemail. Again. 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 The hospital room feels smaller with each passing minute. Nurses come and go, their shoes squeaking against the polished floor. I catch fragments of their whispers. CEO's wife. Suspicious circumstances. Police investigation. The last one makes my blood freeze. Investigation? My phone buzzes again. Unknown number. Mrs. Thompson-Chen? This is Detective Sarah Martinez, SFPD Cybercrimes Unit. The world tilts sideways. We need to ask you some questions about your husband's accident. My throat closes up. Now? At your earliest convenience. Convenience. As if anything about this situation is convenient. I'm at the hospital, my voice sounds distant, hollow. We'll come to you. Click. The silence that follows is deafening. I look at Michael's unconscious form. His chest rises and falls rhythmically. Mechanical. Like one of his beloved machines. The irony would make him laugh. If he could laugh. If he would ever laugh again. 30 minutes later, Detective Martinez arrives. She's younger than I expected. Sharp eyes. Sharper questions. Mrs. Thompson-Chen, were you aware of any threats against your husband? My heart races. Threats? Competitors, disgruntled employees, personal enemies? I think of Andrew's warnings. The USB drive. The stolen code. No, I lie. My Apple Watch betrays my racing pulse. The detective's eyes flick to it. Your husband's car was tampered with. The words hit like bullets. What? The autopilot system was compromised. That's impossible. But even as I say it, I know. I know who had access. I know who knew the launch date. I know who warned me. I know who's sorry. The detective watches me carefully. Mrs. Thompson-Chen, where were you last night between 8 p.m. and midnight? Home. Alone. Waiting for Michael's call. Waiting for Andrew's message. I was home. Can anyone verify that? No. No one can verify anything anymore. Our security system, I say instead. She nods, makes a note. And Mr. Davidson? When did you last see him? My heart stops. Andrew? Yes, your husband's business partner. Former business partner, I want to correct her. But that would lead to questions. Questions I can't answer. Not recently. Another lie. The detective's pen scratches against her notepad. Each sound like fingernails on my conscience. Interesting, she says. The word hangs between us. Heavy with implication. Why? Because Mr. Davidson's phone records show multiple calls to your number. The room spins. Daily calls. My hands grip the hospital chair. Long calls. I taste bile. Recent calls. We're friends, I manage. Her smile doesn't reach her eyes. Friends who delete their text messages? I say nothing. What is there to say? Mrs. Thompson-Chen, we have reason to believe your husband's accident wasn't an accident. Thunder rumbles outside. Another storm approaching. Someone wanted him dead. Lightning flashes. Illuminating Michael's pale face. Someone close to him. The monitors beep faster. Or is that my heart? Someone who stood to gain from his death. My phone buzzes again. Another unknown number. A text message. Check your email. I excuse myself. Stumble to the hospital bathroom. Lock the door. Open my email with trembling fingers. One new message. From Andrew. Subject, the truth. My finger hovers over it. Do I want to know? Can I handle more truth? The fluorescent lights hum above me. Judging. Waiting. I click. Clara. By the time you read this, I'll be gone. I'm sorry for dragging you into this. I'm sorry for using you. But mostly, I'm sorry because everything I told you was a lie. There was never anything wrong with Michael's code. The system was perfect. Too perfect. My investors wanted it. Needed it. Were willing to pay anything for it. Including Michael's life. I thought I could do it. For the money. For you. But I couldn't. I couldn't let him die. So I warned him. Last night. Told him everything. About the plan. About us. He didn't believe me about you. Still doesn't. His faith in you is the only thing I couldn't destroy. The police are coming for me. Don't try to find me. Don't try to explain. Just know that in the end, I chose to save him. Not for him. For you. Because despite everything, I do love you.
Goodbye,
Andrew. The phone slips from my numb fingers. Clatters against the bathroom tile. The truth echoes in my head. Bouncing off sterile walls. Multiplying. Amplifying. Until it's all I can hear. All I can feel. All I can breathe. Andrew used me. Used my guilt. My loneliness. My weakness. To get to Michael. To steal his work. To try to kill him. And I let him. I helped him. I betrayed the one person who still believes in me. The bathroom door rattles. Mrs. Thompson-Chen? Detective Martinez's voice. Are you all right? No. I'll never be all right again. Just a moment. I splash water on my face. Watch my perfect makeup run. My carefully constructed image dissolving. Just like everything else. When I open the door, the detective is waiting. We found Mr. Davidson's car. My heart stops. At the airport. Starts again. Private terminal. Of course. He's gone, isn't he? She nods. But we'll find him. Will they? Does it matter anymore? I walk back to Michael's room. Sit beside his bed. Take his hand. And finally, let myself cry. For him. For me. For us. For everything we were. Everything we could have been. If I hadn't been so blind. So weak. So easily led astray. Outside, the storm breaks. Rain lashes against the windows. Nature's judgment. Nature's cleansing. And somewhere in the darkness, a butterfly stops flapping its wings. The chaos theory comes full circle. One small decision. An avalanche of consequences. And now, only the aftermath remains. The days blur together in a haze of police interviews and hospital visits. Each morning, I wake hoping it was all a nightmare. Each morning, reality crashes back harder. Michael remains unconscious. The media circles like vultures. Stock prices plummet. And I sit in the eye of the storm, keeping my secrets. Until the morning everything changes again. I'm dozing in the hospital chair when I feel it. A slight pressure on my hand. Michael's fingers twitching against mine. My heart stops. Restarts. Michael? His eyelids flutter. The machines beep faster. Doctors rush in. I'm pushed aside. Watching. Waiting. Praying. His eyes open. Dark. Confused. Searching. They find mine. And I know from the way he looks at me. He remembers everything. The nurses ask him questions. Simple things. Name. Date. Location. His voice is hoarse. Weak. But his mind is sharp. Too sharp. When we're finally alone, the silence stretches between us. Miles wide. Oceans deep. How long? He asks. 2 words. They cut like knives. Michael, I. How? Long. I can't breathe. Can't think. Can't lie. Not anymore. 3 months. He closes his eyes. Pain crosses his face. Different from the physical pain. Deeper. He tried to kill me. It's not a question. Yes. And you helped him. My world shatters. No. I didn't know. You gave him access to my office. The monitors beep faster. He said your code was flawed. A bitter laugh. And you believed him. I thought. You thought what, Clara? His eyes open. They're not confused anymore. They're cold. Hard. Like silicon chips. That he loved you? The words hang in the air. Sharp as broken glass. That he cared about anything except stealing my work? Tears blur my vision. I'm sorry. Sorry. He tastes the word. Spits it out. Sorry doesn't undo betrayal. Outside, a siren wails. Another emergency. Another life changing forever. The police are looking for him, I whisper. They won't find him. How do you know? Because I know Andrew. His voice is tired. Ancient. I've always known him. What do you mean? He turns his head. Looks out the window. At the San Francisco skyline. At the world he almost left behind. This isn't the first time he's done this. My breath catches. What? Stanford. Our first startup. The monitors beep steadily now. Marking time. Marking truth. He stole our code then too. I didn't know. No one did. His laugh is hollow. I covered for him. Why? Because he was my brother. The word hits me like a physical blow. Not by blood. His eyes find mine again. By choice. Michael. My parents took him in when we were teenagers. The story spills out. Like blood from a wound. His faith was abusive. His mother was gone. We shared everything. Until we didn't. The pieces fall into place. Andrew's obsession with Michael's success. His bitterness. His revenge. He wanted what you had. He always has. Silence falls again. Heavy with understanding. With regret. With loss. What happens now? I ask. The question feels inadequate. Insufficient. But it's all I have. Michael's eyes close again. Exhaustion etched on his face. Now? His voice is barely a whisper. Now we live with our choices. The words hit harder than any accusation. Any anger. Any rage. Because they're true. We all made choices. All of us. And now we have to live with them. Days pass. Michael grows stronger. Physically, at least. The distance between us grows too. Miles becoming light years. The police keep searching. Keep asking questions. But Andrew is gone. Vanished like morning fog. The media moves on. New scandals. New stories. New betrayals. But we remain. Trapped in the aftermath. Living with our choices. One morning, I arrive at the hospital to find Michael dressed. Standing. Ready to leave. The doctors cleared me, he says. His voice is neutral. Carefully empty. That's good. The words feel hollow. Like everything else. I'm not coming home. My heart stops. What? I've rented a place. Michael, please. Don't. One word. Final. We need to talk about this. No. He turns to face me. His eyes are clear now. Present. We need to accept it. Accept what? But I know. God, I know. That some things can't be fixed. The truth hurts more than any lie. I love you, I whisper. He smiles. Sad. Tired. Final. That's the tragedy, isn't it? He picks up his bag. Walks past me. Stops at the door. Love isn't always enough. And then he's gone. Leaving me alone with the beeping machines. The empty bed. The hollow victory of survival. Outside, the fog rolls in. Thick. Heavy. Hiding the city I once thought I knew. My phone buzzes. Another news alert. Tech CEO steps down, citing personal reasons. The end of an era. The end of us. I stand at the hospital window. Watch the fog swallow everything. Like time swallowing memories. Like life swallowing dreams. Like truth swallowing lies. until nothing remains but the choices we made and the consequences we live with forever. End.